There is so much to talk about, and quite frankly, due to the seriousness of the topic, I feel that it is too much for one video. I need a break, I need a breather, so I assume that you do too. Now, okay, I want to start with something I spoke about only a few days ago. Remember the video about Sarah Ferguson being seen as a fugitive from the law in Turkey after she photographed children in an orphanage without permission? However, of course, under the guise of exposing the terrible conditions in the orphanage. Now, as I was sick and the news came in so thick and fast at the time, I did not go delve into it immediately or too deeply. But I've told you numerous times before, I may not have 100,000 subscribers, but those I do have are the best. Sincerely, a group of intelligent, bright and very aware and awake people. Yes, we do have a handful of nuts, but they come and go, and when they go, they are not really missed either. Yes, we also do disagree sometimes, but I notice that if we disagree in a civil, adult way, that you do tend to stay, and that is what I and my channel is all about. As long as I give you something to think about, it is job done for me. Anyway, back to Sarah. So one of you sent me this. Turkey sold thousands of underage girls to Epstein's island for $200 million, smuggling them out by private plane. Then there is attached an excerpt from an Epstein document, and unfortunately I do not have a file number for this, so all I have is this particular screenshot. And the more I enlarge it, the more it becomes pixelated. So I'm going to read it to you anyway. Remember, they are indeed talking about Jeffrey Epstein here. Each time they would travel to one of these destinations, the same pattern of sexual abuse would occur, often with a vast array of aspiring models, actresses, celebrities, and or other females, including minors from all over the world. Upon information and belief, defendant, which was Epstein, transported minor girls from Turkey, the Czech Republic, Asia, and numerous other countries, many of whom spoke no English. To plaintiff's knowledge, the only females specifically excluded from defendant's sexual escapades were African Americans. Now, in light of this, it would probably be true that documentary or no documentary, no one would blame anyone, you, me, absolutely anyone, for thinking and or believing that Sarah was indeed on a shopping trip for her brother, the brother she asked to marry her, namely Jeffrey Epstein. Now what really ticks me off, really gets to me, is that after all of this, and I'm told, and I believe it, and believe me, Sarah knows what is coming out about her. She knows what is being said about her behind her back. She knows it all. Yet where is she, and what is she doing? Well, let me tell you. Dear dirty Sarah had been lying low in the French Alps in order to get her head together, and from there she hopped on over to United Arab Emirates, supposedly to spend time with Eugenie, who is in Doha, Qatar, for work, allegedly, supposedly. So hear me out. Poor Sarah does not have money and is homeless, allegedly, supposedly, according to her own big mouth. Yet she has money to jet all over the world, likely staying in the best lodges and hotels. So who's paying for it? Did Charles give her $1 million or $2 to get out of Royal Lodge? Well, I mean, seeing that he contributed more than $1 million of his own money to shut Virginia up, I'm sure he would have $1 million or so for Fergie to shut up for a while. Now, before I carry on, I just want to repeat myself one more time. I see someone put in a comment that, or in the comments, that I have a soft spot for Andrew. How hilarious. I said this before. I have never in my entire life really cared much about the Queen's boys. Old Andy wasn't too bad looking in his early naval days, but not my type. I liked the cool guys. David Cassidy in my early teen years, and then as I got older it turned to Sting and Bryan Adams and actor Daniel Day-Lewis. I remember telling a friend of mine that I would gladly trade my husband for any one of the last three, and she called them the thinking woman's sex symbols. So no, Andy, no soft spot for old Andy. I have always recognized him and Charles for what they were, spoiled nonsense. Although Andy was a better looking spoiled nonce. What I have been advocating for here and behind the scenes was that he be properly investigated by law enforcement or MI5 or 6 or FBI or whoever, and that he be treated like anyone else and charged, taken to a court of law and sentenced accordingly, because all these internal investigations are basically just information gathering on how to cover up the shit. And that is exactly why I have been advocating for a proper investigation. Nothing to do with Andrew per se. It could have been Joe or Peter or whoever. Okay? I think many people missed me having said that over and over and over again, because I'm no drama queen. I don't yell or shout or over dramatize. I state it as I see it, and that is it. I don't sit behind a camera and stretch my eyes and spit into my microphone in indignation. For me, we are all human, and not even the King of England should be above the law. It is because there are people like the King of England, and likely his younger son, who are supposedly above the law, that we get people like Fergie window shopping for someone like Epstein. You see, they have nothing to fear, so they do what they want when they want, and like doctors of old, they simply bury their mistakes. Unfortunately for them, Earth has reached a boiling point, and finally, after hundreds of years of this, the plebeians have had enough. We have had enough of the cult of climate change. We have had enough of some inbred dude telling us how we should live. And yes, indeed, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip were both third and second cousins. But that's neither here nor there. Of Charles, many people have said that he overestimates his own intelligence. Anyway, I digress as always. We live in a very precarious society at the moment, one which is really teetering on the brink of the abyss. And Trump was right when he said that the swamp has to be drained. And indeed, if Andrew and Charles are in that swamp, then they must go, and never again should any royal be above the law again. Talk about teetering on the brink, on the edge of the abyss. I am informed that we are days or weeks away from hearing or finding out some big news about Harry or something involving Harry. There are a number of things which it could be, but I'm not going to guess because allegedly it will be the next scandal to rock the royal family. So I'm going to wait it out along with the rest of you. I do think it is true though, because the man looked stressed and off his rocker to me, particularly in that video clip talking about the media in which he nearly cried. And it's not that, but look at his hands. Something is very wrong with his nervous system. Either he is stressed to almost breaking point, or there's something neurologically wrong with him. I think, personally, that he is overly stressed. But, I may be wrong. Because, according to him, he has been using a variety of drugs. So, one never knows what it does to the brain. So, anyway, so we will have to wait. I honestly can't tell you what it is all about at the moment. But luckily, if my informant has it correctly, then it won't be too long for us to wait. It will be soon-ish. I have, however, also heard that there will be some scrutiny of a couple of royals' behavior behind the scenes, and one story which is really an old one, but it could potentially be damaging, is the one about Harry and his lewd behavior during a Swiss ski trip when he was about 27, I think. A trip during which he disappeared to his room with an 18 or 19-year-old. Which in itself is not shocking, because his mother was 19 when she became engaged to his father. But what everyone did think was strange was that the girl was forced to sign an NDA the next morning. Now, I'm not saying that this could potentially turn into the damaging thing to come out, but I did find it very strange that I was reminded about this particular story under the current circumstances. So, I don't know, we can mull over that in the meantime. Anyway, I personally cannot wait for Tom Bower's sequel to Revenge. I think Bower's book may do to Harry and Meghan what Andrew Lowney's book did to I think Bower's book may do to Harry and Meghan what Andrew Lowney's book did to Andrew and Fergie. So maybe that is what my informant was indeed referring to. We shall wait and see. Okay, now this particular video's Now this particular video's revelation was the continuation of the Fergie thing. But my dears, I have a few more lined up for you. It is sad and it is bad, but the monarchy, the crown, and individuals within the monarchy have a lot to answer for. Now I will be back soon with the next revelation. So until then, take care and please stay safe. Stay out of trouble, okay? All right, so until then, bye.